please welcome your S4 Program Chair, Dale Peterson, to the S4 main stage.
It has been 27 long months that I'm sure were difficult for each of us at times. But I'm so happy to be able to say, welcome back to S4 in Miami South Beach. Welcome to the 797 attendees from 30 countries. Welcome to the record 164 women here at S4. Yes, this is progress, but it still only represents about 20% of the attendees. We have work to do. Back at S420, we had to limit the number of tickets that were sold with access to Stage 2 technical deep dives because the theater only held 200 people. And let's be honest, Stage 3 was kind of more of a bowling alley than a theater. I'm pleased to say that this year we have a 400-seat Stage 2 and a 200-seat Stage 3 across the street at the ELV, so your ticket gets you into all three stages. After we did that, we said, well, we removed that limitation. What other limitations are we putting on the event? So Liz and I, we looked at everything. Now, of course, we kept what worked and what you loved, but we looked at everything with a fresh set of eyes. From the program to the parties, from the stages to the swag. What did you think of the swag bag this year? Yeah. I did notice, though, that last night the black hats flew off the table. There's none left, and we have a lot of white hats left. And I don't know what that says about you, but anyways, we looked at everything from the focus of how do we improve the attendee experience and how do we help our Create the Future mission. Once we did this, we said, we're going to get even bolder. We're going to make the theme for S421 No Limits. And we did this planning in February 2020, and then the universe showed us some limits. And it showed us some limits again in December with Omicron, and quite frankly, we were tempted to go virtual, and we were even more tempted to just stop doing S4. But I really believe that we need a place where the leading edge of the ICS security community can get together to accelerate progress. Now, I know most of you, and I have great faith and admiration in you. I don't always agree with you, but I love the spirit and energy you bring to the challenge. So our S4 recipe to create the future is we try to bring together a large group of the leaders in ICS security, the people on the leading edge trying to drive change. Now, all are welcome, but we really design the event for those people. Then we put you in a creative environment, something very different than what you do day to day, and even different than you see at other conferences. Next, we throw ideas at you, new ideas, crazy ideas, conflicting ideas. And then the last ingredient, and I think this one might be the most important, is we give you free time at social events and other things for all these ingredients to mix, rise, and bake. We have seen at S4 some really great things happen. We saw, for example, at S420, there was a session on ICS for ICS and a session on PLC secure coding practices. Those went from initial ideas over these past 2 years to actual projects that are in place and making a difference today. Companies themselves have been conceived here at S4. And I would be remiss if I didn't note that the Beer ISAC started very, very late one night after S4 around the Surf Comer pool. Now, the key to this create the future thinking and accelerated change, I believe, is no limits thinking. Yes, the vast majority of people out there still need ICS Security 101. They need those knowledge and recommendations and raised awareness. But that's only going to get us slow, linear progress. And quite frankly, it's a slog. If you were one of those people in 2005 that said it's going to take decades to secure ICS, congratulations, you were right. But you maybe should have said 3 or 4 decades. Now, if you have to do that slog in your day job, that's understandable, and I'm sorry for you. But this is S4, damn it. We have to do different things here. We're not going to create the future by just working hard the same way we've been working the last 2 decades. It took us a long time to get back here. Longer than I think any of us expected. We need to make this week worth it. So, yes, have fun. And yes, create and establish those personal relationships that we've all missed so much. But yes, also come up with new ideas and approaches to create the future of ICS, security, and OT. I have a few different ways for you to do that. The first one, and this is my favorite, I call the flip. Basically, you take conventional wisdom, some saying, some mantra, flip it over, and look at the world as if the opposite was true. So a great example of this is DevOps. For decades, people thought long uptime, long time between reboots was a key metric for reliability. DevOps showed us that, in fact, frequent teardown and rebuild actually increased reliability. So here's one for you. All employees need to care and be involved in security. We spend a lot of time and money and hand-wringing. How do I just get my employees to care more? What if we flipped that and said employees should have little or no security responsibility? Now, you don't need to believe that, but if the world were that way, what would you do to make security effective in a world where that were true? Here's another one. You can't protect what you don't know. What if we flip that to say, don't even bother trying to create and maintain an accurate asset inventory? Now, I know the asset inventory vendors out there, your blood pressure just went up. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. You don't have to believe that, but just imagine a world where that were true. What would you do differently if that were true? And the last one, and this is quite frankly my favorite, cyber assets need cyber hygiene. What if we flipped that and said, we need to live with dirty cyber assets? What would you do differently if that were true? So technique 1 is the flip. Technique 2 I call the literal. We have these mantras again that we frequently say and mostly believe, but we don't act as if they're true. Now, you guys probably all know the most common one. OT is different than IT. Have you heard that one before? Yeah? Maybe said it once or twice yourselves? I find that what most people mean by that is keep your IT security good practice crap out of my OT. But if we take that literally, OT is different than IT, then shouldn't we be coming up with OT security controls and other techniques that are not used in IT, that are unique to OT, and coming up with those so that we reduce the chance of a cyber or a cyber physical attack causing an unacceptable consequence? So what are those, if we take this literally, what are those OT techniques? So 1, the flip. 2, the literal. 3, I don't have a third. Sorry. They always say in speeches you should do things in 3s, and I only have 2, but maybe I'll create it this week and I'll tell you about it in the closing panel. Now, we are making progress in ICS security, largely due to the hard work of a lot of people in this audience. It's just too slow. We're not going to get where we need to go. We need radically new ideas and approaches. Now, S4 is an environment where you can create those new ideas. Open your mind, let yourself go, take some risks. I want to close with my second favorite Lord John Maynard Keynes quote The difficulty lies not so much in developing new ideas as in escaping from old ones. So let's see if this week we can use the sun and the fun, the good sessions and great company to escape those old ideas. Now, you might be wondering, my favorite Keynes quote was what he said right before he died. I wish I would have drunk more champagne. I look forward to seeing what you create this week. Thanks.